Welcome to Papa's Workshop. Today we're going to have a little bit of school spirit. I'm going to make a great big huge sign that's about 20 something feet long that says Go Cougars. This is going to be a lot of fun to be able to do it, and the letters are being designed in VCarve Pro and cut out on the CNC machine behind me, which is a CNC for newbie, VCarve. When the kids return from the holiday break, this will be the first thing that they see. The first step was to repair and paint the old fence. Once that was done, it was time to get back into the shop. I'm using a 5mm plywood, and these letters are going to be 2 feet tall. And to make things easy, I decided to cut the plywood 2 feet square. That way, with one sheet of plywood, I can get 8 letters out of it, plus a little bit of scrap will give me my extra letter that I need, and it will all be 2 foot by 2 foot. And that will fit on the CNC machine very nicely. At the CNC machine, I'm setting up a 1/2 inch thick foam for my auxiliary wasteboard. I'm also using the glue and the tape method. Now most people really do an overkill on the glue and tape method. You notice I'm only using 2 pieces of tape, one at the top and one at the bottom, and that's plenty to hold this plywood down. The bit that I'm using is a 1/4 inch end mill. Now this is a spiral upcut bit. Quite frankly, I wish I had a downcut bit. It would give a cleaner cut. But unfortunately, I don't have one, so I'm using an upcut bit, which will mean a little bit of sanding once the letter comes off of the CNC machine. Also, back to the glue and the tape method, it takes very little glue. You notice I'm putting just one little thin bead down of the Star Bond CA glue. And now this is the medium. Spray a little bit of accelerator on the tape, and then I'm going to flip this over and put it right down on top of that foam. And that will hold it firmly and securely in place so that the machine will be able to cut out the letter. I wish I could get the word out to more and more people about the use of the CA glue and the tape method. It works fantastic. But what I see most often is that people really overuse it. They put way too much tape down and way too much glue. You can see on this letter, that's being a 2 foot by 2 foot letter, 2 pieces of tape holds it extremely well, and it's not a problem at all. I have not had a failure using this method. As you might expect, that 1/4 inch bit generates an awful lot of sawdust. So I have the dust collection system in place to be able to pick up the majority of it. And granted, right at that top edge, yes, there's some dust on there. But once I'm over the actual plywood, the dust boot picks up the vast majority of all the sawdust, and that makes cleanup a whole lot easier. Normally, when I'm doing videos and I want you guys to be able to see what's going on, I'll take off the dust boot. But in this situation, I need to do a lot of letters quick, and I need to be able to have it as dust-free as possible, because I'm changing out these sheets of plywood one after another just as fast as I can to be able to get this project done. By using the 1/2 inch foam as my auxiliary wasteboard, it makes it where I can actually design this where the bit will cut completely through the plywood and into that wasteboard. That makes cleanup a little bit easier, and it ensures that I can do this in one pass without any difficulty and be able to pull this off the machine. Again, time is of the essence with this project, and you can see the results here. That letter looks great. I'm going to show you in real time exactly how I did each of the letters. First, I'm going to minimize the Open Build software, and then I'm going to bring up the VCarve Pro. Now I already have the material size set at 24 by 24. I'm going to delete this letter, grab my next letter, which is going to be the R, and I'll slide it over to the center point of my project. From there, I'm going to use this icon to set the size of my letters, and I want this linked together to begin with so the proportion stays the same. And on the y-axis, I want this 23.75 inches and apply. You notice a little bit wider on the x-axis than the material, so I will unlink this, change the size on the x-axis to 23.75 and hit apply. That way I know it's going to fit onto my board, and the letter looks actually quite nice that way. That little bit of difference in the proportion does not make a big difference. So we'll close this out now, and then I'll switch over to the toolpaths. In the toolpath menu, I'll use the profile toolpath. I'm cutting down 0.24 of an inch. I only need one pass, so I'll edit that down to one pass, and nothing else needs to change. I'll hit calculate, and I'll put in, of course, the name of this letter with a 1/4" end mill, and from there, hit calculate. Yes, it will give you this warning that it'll cut all the way through the material, and that's okay. So I'll reset the preview just one toolpath, look at the R, it looks fantastic. At this point, I'll save the toolpath into my computer, and I'll put this on the thumb drive, and then I'm ready to go over to the CNC machine. That is just how quick it is to be able to do these letters. At this point, open up the OpenBuild software again, and download that file that I just created. And now it's entered into it. There's my R, and I'm ready to be able to cut out that next letter. The nice thing about it is, because I'm doing one letter after another, I do not have to re-Z the machine. I do not have to set my XY 0 position again. It's already there. It's already in place. A lot of you have asked, do I have to re-Z the machine each time when you change out the plywood? In this situation, no, you do not. It is not necessary. The plywood is the same thickness, and I'm cutting all the way through the material in the one pass. I do not have to go through the procedure to set the Z axis again. All I need to be able to do is just hit run job, and it will begin to cut out this letter. And then I'll repeat the process on the next letter, and this process actually goes rather quickly. I've also talked about this before, as far as how I keep my files organized on the computer. All of my different work files are actually saved on the thumb drive, and for each particular project, I'll set up a new folder, and then all the toolpaths and the original design will go into that one folder. That way, if I need to come back and repeat this project, let's say a letter is damaged down the road, all I'll need to do is go to my thumb drive, pull up this particular file, and in that file folder, I'll have the toolpath for that specific letter, and I'll be able to run it again to replace a letter. And this is the same process that I use on all of the projects. And it makes it so simple to be able to keep them organized in this manner. While these letters are being cut out, I hope you take the opportunity to hit the like button, and don't forget to subscribe along with the bell notification. The reason I'm asking you to do this is because in the next video, I'm going to show you how to design the prism styled letter. Now this is a style that's rarely used and you don't see it very often, but it really makes a beautiful presentation, and it's a great letter to be able to use for a nice, big, large signs. And it's quite often used in the commercial type applications. You're not going to want to miss out on that video. Granted, these letters are being cut out individually, but once they're finished on the CNC machine, I pull them off and bring them over to the workbench, where my son will lightly sand the edges, clean up anything that needs to be done, and then it's off to painting. We're painting both the front and the back of all of these letters because they are going to be displayed on the outside, and the weather will be a factor. Using the glue and the tape method means that I do not have to use tabs to be able to hold these letters down. Once the project is finished cutting out, it literally just lifts off of the auxiliary baseboard, and it's ready to be lightly sanded and painted. These other pieces, again, will just slip off easily. I'll remove the old tape, dust this off, because you can see there's quite a bit of sawdust in the grooves on those letters, and then I'm ready to just put down the next piece of plywood. The transition from one letter to the next only takes about 2 minutes. It's not a long period of time. After we painted all these different letters and they dried, it was back to the school to be able to put them onto the fence. Yes, it did require just a little bit of touch-up because these were all stapled to the fence, and a little touch-up with the paint was all that's necessary. In addition, giving the entire fence a brand new coat of paint, in addition to putting these letters up here, I think makes an excellent presentation, and it's something that you can see a block away from the school. I think that's going to make a nice impression when the kids get back from their holidays. I think this looks absolutely fantastic, and I hope you'll stick around to see the next great big sign that we put inside the school. And remember, I'm using the prism style letters in the VCarve Pro to create this next great big sign. Thanks a lot for watching this video today, and I hope you stick around for the next video because I'm going to show you how to do the prism style letters used in the VCarve Pro. And again, we're going to make a great big huge sign right here to be able to put up into the school hallway to be able to show just a little bit more of that school spirit. So I look forward to seeing each and every one of you real soon. So for now, bye-bye everyone.